Pascal on Foreclosure Friday. We should be live now if everything's working properly. You don't see me? Oh, it says it's live. There it is. It got to be live now. This is kind of weird the way this thing's set up. I haven't done just Facebook in a while.
Talking to yourself.
That's bull crap. What do you mean I'm talking to myself again? Why is everything doing it only to me? So we're public now or what? And my wife's not in there. She's half in, half out. You mean you need to move over some more? Get in? Okay, I'll move over some more. Are we in there now? Are we on? I'm sure we're on.
She said, yeah.
And these are the bloopers because this is all raw, real, and the way it is, right? I'm trying to find out how to expand this damn screen, and I don't know how to do it. They changed my screen on me with Facebook, and these they change the algorithms. They change my computer size and my screen on here. I should have went freaking through Zoom because Zoom gives me a whole picture. This don't give me the whole picture. I don't like it this way. Oh, I see somebody's responses. Yep, there's Pam. All right. So here we are. Foreclosure Friday. Hunter Pascal, I'm your man. It doesn't sound too exciting, but it really is. It's really exciting around here. A lot of things going on, a lot of good news, a lot of upbeat stuff happening, and then the bad stuff, the COVID virus. That's been one of the main things that's been taunting this world for the last how many months now? Since March, and we just want to give you a little update here in our office, and brought my beautiful wife on today to talk about the rental part of real estate and how it's affecting Debbie in the rental area, because Debbie handles all of our rentals, all of the long-term, short-term stuff that we have, and then also the ones that we do subject twos on. We have a lot of properties that we've taken subject to, and a lot of properties. We'll talk about all those. There's mortgage payments that we're responsible for, and when you make a subject to deal with a homeowner and the payments are supposed to be made on a timely manner, if you sign something saying that you're going to pay a payment for a homeowner, it's suggested that you make that payment because it could get ugly. And we have a few cases about that, not ours, but some others that have gotten ugly. So, struggling renters. Oh, by the way, this is my beautiful wife, Debbie Pascal. Say hello, Debbie. Everybody should know Debbie by now if you've seen this on. She doesn't know how to do this either. It's our screen's really small for some reason. I wish I could straighten it out, but she says it's okay, so that's good. It's okay. Let me see if I can tap on it, do something. But anyway, we can't see. We're like in a little square here for some reason. But struggling renters put pressure on landlords. So struggling renters are putting pressure on landlords, or is it the economy, the loss of jobs, putting the pressure on the tenants? They're again putting pressure on landlords, and it's the waterfall effect. It starts at the top and it comes right on down. It trickles down to everybody, or starts at the bottom and trickles up. However you want to look at it. You have your tenants and your landlords, and then it goes on up to the loans, and then banks, and then presidency and all that. So struggling renters pressure landlords to sell or tighten tenant transactions. So we're reading this from the Mortgage Bankers Association. We got a few different places where we pulled some stuff that we want to talk about that clearly gives us a bird's eye view, or what we're looking at in the future, what's going to be happening in the future to our economy, to the rental program. So I wanted to bring Debbie on because I don't handle the rentals. Debbie handles all the rentals with the office staff here. And so I really don't. I do know I get a report, but from Debbie every week actually, and not on the rentals, but I do get reports from the office. We just rented another property that we just put back together, right? What are you laughing at?
No.
Oh, you can tell me how long it took? You can do all you want. I don't care. So it's a property. It was a trailer that the tenant kids jumped all over the trailer and just tore it up, and I just didn't want to go freaking rehab it, and I was busy doing other things, so it took a year to do it. So I lost a year's Oh, 2 years. It ain't been 2 years. Well, if it's been 2 years, it's her fault because she didn't, get the stuff done on time and get the maintenance done and all that. But it was a pain in the ass, is what it was, and I just didn't want to deal with it. I don't like dealing with pain in the asses. So basically, I just kind of put it on the back burner and did a little bit at a time. And now, what does it look like?
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Let me hear that again.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. But I lost $12,000 of income, or $15,000 worth of income in the last, or maybe $20,000 worth of income in the last 2 years because what are you renting it for?
950.
$950 a month. So that's $1,000 a month times 24. That's $24,000. Is that what you're telling me I lost? $24,000 the last 2 years because I didn't rent this property. Well, it saved me a big headache. I didn't have a freaking $24,000 headache for a long time, so
Okay.
we got it done. Okay, so I win that battle. Why are you so far out there in the zone? You got to get in here. I can put you right in there. So how about that? There you go. So come on, quit. We're fighting over the camera here. We're not fighting over it. We're trying to get her in it because she's part of it. So let's read a little bit more about here. Let's talk about it's been about 1 out of 12 renters, or 2.82 million households missed, delayed, or made a reduced payment in September, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association, a trade organization, and the doubled from April to September, increasing 7% to 3% in the Internet Panel survey of over 8,000 households found. So they went through and they did a survey on all the homes. And then it says in a separate survey, 1,381 landlords from Avail and the Urban Institute, 35% landlords didn't receive 100% of the payments or September, and slightly larger share, 38%, didn't expect to get a full payment for October. Well, we're in November, so this is a little behind, but that's okay. We're in November now, and we'll talk about our situation, where we're at. More than 3/4 of landlords who didn't get September payments said their tenants didn't care or can't pay in full. I didn't mean to care. A lot of them care. Your tenants care about your payments, I can tell you. According to the survey from Advisors Platform of mom and pop landlords, while 12.9% of their tenants a discount to ease a financial burdens of the pandemic. So it goes on to say, snowball effect. This is all going to be a snowball effect for everybody involved in the industry. If you're in the real estate industry, if you're in the housing, supporting support for the colleges, if you got student housing and all that, I've heard they've cut that like in 50% because they can't pack these people in because of the COVID. The universities are only allowed like half the students in these units. So that's going to take away half the income that you projected, because I know there's people out there that do just one system, and that's called the student housing projects. And man, I know they got affected. It's crazy. Job losses. Americans already experienced two financial cliffs. First, the expiration of the $600 in weekly unemployment benefits from the CARES Act. We're going to talk about that in a minute. In July, and second, and the expiration of the $300 extra lost wages assistance. That's LWA program in September. So it's all this free money is kind of like coming to an end. And the pandemic hasn't gone away yet. Matter of fact, we're hearing that numerous pandemic increases all across the country. I think New York shut down their school systems now, right? Is that what you heard?
Yeah.
What else have you heard that's kind of affecting, what else is shutting down? And I really don't pay too much attention to what's shutting down until I hear about it later on. New York, we're not doing too much in New York anyway, except for my kids and grandkids live there. That's the only thing that we're doing in New York. Oh, then we got Morris and his family. Don't forget about him. The expiration of two of the other government programs at end of the year could leave up to 15 million more out of work Americans without an unemployment benefits. That's 15 million. This is pretty scary times, guys. This isn't something that's going away. It came pretty quick, but it's not going away quick. That's, it's not going to go away too fast. The snowball effect on landlords is this can have a snowball effect on the property owners too. Both studies highlighted over the second and third quarter, 11% of the renters have missed one payment, or over the 2 quarters, 4% missing 2 payments, 2.8% missing 3 payments, 3.8 missing 4, 9.2 billion in the quarter 3 of 2020 from these missed payments. That's $9.2 billion that landlords didn't receive income on. And depending on whether these landlords had mortgages on their properties or not, is going to be detrimental to their fulfilling their mortgage payments. Because if they're investors and if they're landlords with multiple properties, and it's happened to multiple of your properties, then oh my gosh, I don't know what this would be like. Because we're going to talk to Miss Debbie here about this. It's pretty tough here. Many landlords are also considering selling their properties. Now that's good for the investors, because now you can go out and buy these landlord properties on pennies on the dollar, right? Well, no, the market's still pretty strong. You know, we can't keep properties here. I mean, our inventory is gone. We're searching and looking. If you got a property for sale, we're your buyers. We're cash buyers looking for properties. She gave me my numbers today, and we still have a lot of money in the bank that needs to get out there, because it doesn't make money while it's sitting in the bank. And so many landlords are considering about selling the properties. The same study found out that 31% of the landlords felt that they were more pressured now than pre-pandemic times to sell their property, especially among those who didn't receive a September payment. So now the landlords are really feeling the crunch. So if you're out there and you can locate a landlord, know some landlords that are missing some payments, you know, the challenge is probably getting the tenant out after, you know, the payments are not missed. But so here's the other not so good news. But it's earlier this year, President Trump had utilized the Centers for Disease Control, the CDC, and petitioned authority to enact an eviction moratorium until December 31st. So that December 31st, that moratorium is coming up, just like the foreclosures have already come up. And it's really going to get ugly, guys. I mean, this is the news that you can look all over. This again is from the American Apartment and Owners Associations. So this is information that we're getting. It's not from us, because our numbers are different. So that's what we're going to talk about now. Our numbers are a little bit different. So Miss Debbie, my wife, is going to talk about, or not talk about, I'm going to ask you a few questions, like how many rental properties that are you managing at this time? I mean, what have you, and just support, you don't have to give me an exact number.
38.
38 properties that that you have tenants in. And so since March, what has been the conversation with you and the tenants? I mean, how has it gone? I mean, are they all quit paying, or what's happened?
No, we've been really blessed. All of ours are paid. What we had to do is we had a meeting in the office, and the girls told me about Cash App and Zelle. About that's how some people pay, and they don't have to send in checks, or they don't have to stop by the office and drop off money or anything. And that worked out really good for a lot of our tenants. And then some of them, I had just had conversations with them and asked them, so has this come up that you're having a problem paying? And some of them said yes. And so what I did is only one out of all those is paying weekly, and she hasn't missed one payment. I'm not charging any late fees if you are late, because some of them that do the Cash App and Zelle, it might not get here till like the 6th, but that's okay. They're paying, and everybody's paid in full. And I haven't had any problems, because, I've just tried to work it out with everybody. So, to see if there was a way that just to make sure that they stayed on target and not got behind, because even if they're behind, when this is over, they're going to have to pay it. So they don't really want to get in behind if it's the $1,200 rent, and then they'll owe me $3,600 at the end. And so I've just been real blessed about all of them paying.
So what do you think? Do you think it is that all of our tenants don't have jobs, or I don't know if you know what their work where they work, whatever, their jobs, pandemic proof?
Um, I don't know if they're pandemic proof. I mean, I've got a variety of people. I mean, we got people that work at Full Sail. We got people that work at the hospitals. We got people that work in air conditioning. So people that get they catch mice or whatever, rodents out of the house. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just
Pandemic rodents?
just been real lucky about they've kept their jobs. On the one that pays weekly, she was a caregiver. Her person passed away that she was taking care of, so she had to find another way to get income. But she pays weekly, and she's done really good.
So we've had some of those properties. I know one commercial property I can think about that we purchased this year or finalized, and the tenant actually wanted to buy the property, right? So we were kind of concerned about that. And I think she's a tutor. She's a tutor.
She tutors children.
So
she has a whole business, not just her.
So she actually came up with some lump sum down to do on her finance instead of doing the rental. She didn't want to do the rental. She wanted to buy the property, and so we did that. And so, I mean, I know that payment's like $2,000 a month or something,
Right.
somewhere around there. That I can remember the numbers. And so, how's that work? She's on time every time, and
Well, tutoring's probably making a lot of money right now because helping kids out that, this is so weird not going to school and keeping them focused to get their lessons done if they get them done. So yeah, I'm sure her business is doing great. She has not been late.
probably a lot of parents that don't know how to do the work have to get this tutor to help them through this or train them, even maybe some of the parents.
We would.
Yeah, because yeah, we would definitely have to get somebody to teach ours. I'm a high school dropout. Did you make it all the way through high school?
Yes, honey.
Oh, okay.
I tried to drop out. My mother wouldn't let me.
Oh, well. My mom didn't have any choice, but I went back and graduated. But anyway, besides that, any other issues? I mean, we got a bunch of properties. You had 38 properties that you're renting out or some kind of income coming from.
I just been real lucky. I mean, most of ours are paid off because we've been doing this for 25 years. I really feel bad for the people that might have just started out and they bought a bunch of college dorms or whatever, and
student housing.
Yeah, student housing, and now they're not getting any money. But with ours, most of them are paid for. So even if somebody didn't pay, I mean, we'd still be okay because we have so many that are. But most of ours don't have mortgages. We just pay taxes, insurance, and repairs and stuff like that.
So if you're not set as good as we are, as far as what's owed on properties, and you say all your properties, you had 38 properties, if they all had a $1,000 mortgage,
oh my God, and taxes
and insurance, but you're still getting paid on your rental though. You haven't missed any rents. People are paying rents, and we just upped our rents. We were kind of excited before the pandemic. Last 3 years. We were with one of our friends, JT, and we talked about selling everything. We said, somebody said, why don't you, Hugh Hilton said, why don't you just go ahead and refinance everything, put that cash in your pocket, and let the tenant pay, do 50% LTV in the properties. And, we got them all ready. We did that. We raised our portfolio. We raised our income. We raised our portfolio by 30%. We raised our rental portfolio by 30%, which was huge. We work on a operating expense. I mean, any company or business needs a minimum operating net, and and you're working over on if you raise your net income 30%, that's pretty good, across the board with what we have, and I was excited about that. Then the damn pandemic hit, and we're like, oh no, what just happened? Now we're gonna lower our rents.
No.
But it's amazing that we haven't lowered. We've been paid all of our rents on time, so I don't know. I know people are offering tenants a discount. Did you offer tenants discount or anything? You didn't. Did
that,
so when
that never came up.
So when the pandemic hit, did you do?
I didn't panic, for one thing, and I think that's what. I mean, you have to have a conversation with your tenants. You can't just assume they can't pay, or you can't assume they lost their job, or it's just not everybody lost their jobs. And so if they came to me then I would have a conversation with them about, so what can you pay or whatever, but I wouldn't lower their rents unless it was, I don't know what reason they would give for me to finally do that, but, I mean, I'm not gonna throw anybody out or anything, we haven't had that challenge.
You won't.
We haven't had that challenge, so, again, everybody's just been really good, and I think the screening process of getting the right people in your rentals is really, really important.
Yep.
And with ours, we have a company that does screening, but then we have Pam, who gets the crap on all of them. I mean, she goes into their Facebook, she gets deeper in there, and we find out, you know, we make sure that they're people that are good people, like the people we just rented to in Lemon Bluff. I mean, just real great people, and I know they're gonna, just
The
improve
trailer
our
that I
property.
didn't do for 2 years. I waited for these perfect tenants.
They're just gonna improve our property and not ruin our property, so, you know, I think screening is just like real important. You can't just be desperate and put anybody in there because it is not, it'll pay for it later.
So how many people did you think applied for the room on this? It's a mobile home, so it's not a house. Houses are a little easier to repair, but do you know, was there any more people that tried to rent this while we put them? I thought there was about 4 or 5 people trying
There
to.
was like 3 that I didn't take.
3 you didn't take? Okay. So you're talking about screening process. I heard you talk about look on their Facebook. I mean, you can
See what they're
screen
saying.
people on Facebook, and if they have one, or Instagram or LinkedIn and all that, so go to their social media. I think we even do that before you even charge them for.
Yeah, we do that first before I charge them for the service that I pay for their credit and stuff. And then if we find out just on social media that they're not so good people, they came in here being one person, you look at their Facebook and you see they're not that person at all. We just go ahead and
Is there a word?
let them.
Is there a word called discrimination,
Well, that isn't
or is that
how
just background?
That's just background check, and if after that, you can go ahead and pull their credit and find out they have evictions because they never put that on there. They always say they didn't. And then you always have something to fall back on about why you're not renting to them. And you can't say it's because of social media, that you can find out it's their credit score or whatever.
Or the tenant or the landlord accepted another tenant besides yours. I mean,
Right. 'Cause
that's
you
that's as
usually have
easy
3 or
as
4.
yeah, that's as easy as saying that you know, hey, the landlord accepted another tenant, and we apologize. It's not going to be you. And it's so yeah. I mean, it's so you know we've been doing this what? How long we've had rentals? 20 years,
25 years.
25 years, and in the 25 years, so a lot of people say, oh, landlording's a pain in the ass. Oh, it's this and that. And I know we're getting older, and I know you're ready to retire, and I know you don't want to do this
Yeah.
management thing anymore.
It's not that hard. I
But
mean,
yeah,
seriously.
my question
If you have a
was,
system, it's not.
yeah, if you have a system, so I heard you talk about screening. So you actually hire a company, an outside source, to do the screening for the background and credit check and all that stuff, right?
Right.
And then we do our own.
Pam can't do
Yeah.
credit check.
Right. So then we do our own background check. I mean, we just look all over the place. It's just a good thing to do if you're a landlord, especially nowadays. That's what they were talking about on one of those reports, that the landlords are screening the tenants a lot more now. We, as far as do you ever go as far as want to look at their bank account to make sure that the money that they're saying they got
I do
or
that.
have? So we're looking at their bank account. So we're doing it. I mean, we're not just saying, hey, you know, come here and fog up a mirror and move in one of our properties.
No.
So what's the average length of one of your tenants out of 38 properties? You got that answer? That's a
Well, Mike, who's trying to buy a house right now, has been there 10 years.
10 years. Wow.
Probably James has been there 10 years.
Let's go back to the one you just said, 10 years.
Well, Mike,
isn't that the one where we raised his rent from like $920 to $1,250
$1,200.
to $1,200, and you were concerned
I was concerned.
that? Remember I was telling you about that 30% income increase? Well, we did that about, what, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
2 or 3 years ago. And what we did, though, is we went out and took pictures of all the inside of the properties. We inspected all the properties, smoke detectors, fire extinguishers, the ACs, power, water, everything, took pictures. And then we came back, then they came back to the office, we looked at the pictures, and then we sent a letter to the tenant saying, look, here's what your rent's gonna be next. I mean, these are after the terms of leases have expired, right? We just
Well,
didn't raise
yeah,
them. You can't
it was
raise
a,
them in the middle
no,
of
it was time for them to renew
to
their
renew.
lease.
Or lots of them are probably on month to month. Who knows? So if they wanted the new lease, we raised the rent. And we told them too, here's what we did. We went in and cleaned up our part of the deal that needed to be cleaned up on the property. I mean, the guys, they've been there 10 years, so there's going to be some wear and tear. So we did some things to the property, but they had to do theirs first, and then we came in and did ours, like tree work, pressure washing, whatever needed to be done to work on the property to keep it up to, par. And, because we're not slumlords. We like our houses looking nice and being nice. And we upgrade a property when a tenant moves out, we'll upgrade it. And so that's really helped out a lot as well. So people that are in the process of renting to new, you just got to tighten up the rings. The rings. If you don't have a good system, you need to get one, and don't take it lightly. I mean, this is a business. This
Right.
is a business. It's
That's
not.
what happens.
When you get friends and family involved in all this stuff, next thing you know, you got people not paying. You got this and that. You got to evict your mom. You got to evict your brother. I mean, we've had family living in our properties in the past, and we had to actually buy a property to move them out. So I mean, it was kind of interesting. Debbie and I on the Osteen property we had to actually buy a mobile home to move my brother out of the property we wanted to move into after we rehabbed it. He liked it so much.
It just happened to fall like that.
Oh, is that way it went? Okay. So let's talk about the CDC, this Center for Disease Control, which kind of, I know what that says, but then I start reading.
Right.
It doesn't even sound right to me either, because it says I certify. So this is a declaration or a document. It is a declaration under penalty of perjury for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's temporary halt in evictions to prevent further spread of COVID-19. Or COVID-19. So it says the declarations for tenants, leases, or residents of residential properties who are covered by the CDC order temporarily halting residential evictions, not including foreclosures on home mortgages, to prevent the further spread of COVID-19. Under the CDC order, you must provide copy of this declaration to your landlord, owner of the residential property where you live. So here's what they have to do. I certify under penalty of perjury pursuant to 28 USC 1746 that the foregoing are true and correct. So here's what the tenant has to fill out, because this happened to us. We had a tenant do this. And it says, I've used best efforts to obtain of all available government assistance for rent or housing. I either expect to earn no more than $99,000 annual income for calendar year 2020. I know there's a lot of our tenants would love to earn $99,000, or no more than $198,000 if filing a joint tax return. That's pretty. That's pretty good up there. I mean, they got it up there pretty. This covers a lot of the. I think what they're trying to do was to cover the medium rental across the nation. So it says was not required to report any income 2019 to U.S. Internal Revenue or received an economic impact payment stimulus check pursuant to Section 2020. I'm not going to read all that. I am unable to pay my full rent or make full housing payment due to substantial loss of household income, loss of work hours for wages, layoffs, extraordinary out-of-pocket medical expenses. So they can have out-of-pocket medical expense. They can have all kinds of things hanging over their head that allow them to do this. I am using best efforts to make timely partial payments that are all as close to full payment as the individual circumstances may permit, taking into account or non-discriminatory expenses. If evicted, I would likely become homeless. This is something they're signing. Now, this is a document they're signing. If evicted, I would become homeless, need to move in to a homeless shelter, or need to move into a new residence shared by other people who live in close quarters because I have no other available housing options. I understand that I must still pay rent or make a housing payment and comply with other obligations that I may have under a tenancy, lease agreement, or similar contract. It further understands the fees, penalties, or interest for not paying rent or making house payments on time as required by a tenancy, lease agreement, or similar contract may still be charged or collected. So that doesn't say that you don't pay and you're not responsible for it. It says you don't pay and you're responsible for it. So think about this, guys. And there's one more. Let me just leave this, and I'll talk about that last paragraph. I further understand that at the end of this temporary halt of evictions, the December 31st, 2020, my housing provider may require payment in full for all payments not made prior to and during the temporary halt of failure to pay may make me subject to eviction pursuant to the state law, local laws. I understand that all falsifying, so they sign this. They have to sign this document. They have to sign this document. It's a 2-page document from CDC. And so it says in there that the tenants don't pay, but they're still responsible. It's kind of like the landlord or a homeowner that's behind on payments. If you're not making your payments on your mortgage, you're still responsible for those payments somewhere, somehow. Banks aren't just going to waive payments. Now, they'll take them and put them on the back of the loan for you to ease the pain, but it doesn't stop the payments from adding up. And with that being said, how many of you guys out there watching this think that landlords or people who have a mortgage, you have an agreement and you have obligations and you have to pay this mortgage, and if you get the forbearance where you don't have to pay any payments for 90 days or 180 days, I don't know if they understand that that money is all due at the end of that term. That's the way the mortgage lenders are doing. And they're going to either have to modify that loan, or a lot of people are going to be losing their houses. I was just talking to a good friend of mine in Indiana, North Indiana, close to Chicago. And I showed him there was like 1,100 pre-foreclosures in his one county. And it's a pretty good county. I'm not going to mention the county. And he got on the phone with his realtor, broker, lawyer, and contacted me back immediately. Probably within 30 minutes after me talking to him, because I was asking some questions about some other stuff. I've done some stuff with him before, named Wayne. Actually, Wayne was on our show here once. Lost like 100 pounds or 120. I don't know.
He lost a person.
He lost a person, and really good guy. And so I just talked to his attorney and talked to him, and he was pretty excited about it because he's an investor. So, and I told him, look, Indiana's coming down, and all the people from Chicago are moving to Indiana because of the cost of living in Chicago and the riots that were going on in Chicago and all the closure. I mean, look at New York City to be closed down. That's freaking crazy. It's just what's going to happen. We don't know. And then you got the election. We don't know what's going to happen until January 5th. I mean, there's just so much uncertainty in the air, and I don't know. I know Debbie's a prayer warrior, and maybe that's why all our rents are coming in. So if your rents aren't coming in, maybe you need to hit your knees and pray hard so your rents will start coming in. But we have been blessed, and we take care of our tenants too. That's another thing. We're not we've treated like a business, and we treat it just like all of our other businesses, that everybody's important to us, even the tenants, even our vendors, and that's just who we are, and that's how I think is not another reason why we're so successful at what we do. So speaking of success,
can we also talk about making sure you have a good lease?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And
So,
like Hunter said, is treat it like a business. And one of the things that a lot of people I find don't do is they don't have a good lease. And so if you don't have a good lease, there's tenants unfortunately know their rights sometimes more than we do, and they will find a loophole in there. And so if you're going to be a landlord, make sure that you either get with us or you get with somebody that's doing the business, doesn't have like 1 or 2 rentals or something, but really runs a business like a business. And just that's so important because if you don't, even with the evictions and stuff like that, it's real important about the name that you put on there. Hunter and I don't put our company as the person that's renting to them. It's either Hunter and I, and we manage the property. We don't go, oh, we're the owners of the property. We're just the managers of the property. You don't want to get too personal with your tenants because then, you know, sob stories start coming in and stuff like that. And so that way, if you do have to do an eviction, you don't have to get an attorney to do the eviction because it's Debbie or Hunter that owns it, and we can actually do the eviction ourselves. So there's just a lot to it, and don't, you know, just don't take it lightly and just like be desperate and just put people in there that you go, oh, I'm sure they'll pay, but they got all these kids, and you know, you can't. If you do that, you're the one that ends up paying, not them. They're living in a nice house that you keep nice and everything. So just run it like a business and get the proper paperwork signed.
So what I hear you saying is, Deb, you're going to provide everybody with your lease agreement that wants their lease agreement from us here that may need one if you're doing landlording and you need to get a lease agreement. Debbie might have one that you can share with you. I'm sure she's going to want your email though, so don't forget that. So, but you know, yeah, it's just interesting. You know, this is a global thing. This is not just a U.S. thing. It's all over. You know, we have friends and family all over the U.S. or in Europe, and people we've been introduced to through contacts and just traveling. I mean, we've met friends from all over wherever we travel and stay in Airbnbs. That's what we've been doing lately.
Some of mine are Airbnbs.
And yeah, we got Airbnbs as well. Let's talk about that. So, how have your Airbnbs been? That's interesting. I mean, those have been different.
Yeah, I mean, usually my Airbnbs, they're down in Longboat Key, and in the summertime, I don't have a lot of activity. But with COVID, everybody's just trying to get out of the house, I guess. And so they've been really busy. I've been and you know, my housekeepers just had to go over all the new rules by Airbnb about cleaning them. So you had to make sure you were certified clean, and you didn't put somebody in like the next day. I do it 48 hours at least before you put somebody else in there. But my Airbnbs have done better this year than they've ever done. They're just, and the people have been really good. They're just like, want to get out of the house, and they stay, 7 to 14 days.
Well, it's pretty good, well, it's not pretty good. We had a pandemic, but we had somebody living in one of the condos or staying in one of the condos for like 2 or 3 months. They do it every year. Yeah. And I think she lived in New York.
She lives in New York.
And then when it hit, she goes, I don't want to go home. Can I stay? Sure, stay as long as you want, As long as you can afford that $2,500 a month for that little 1-bedroom condo in Longboat Key. You stay there every month you want to. We don't mind that. But she did. She stayed a long time. So is she rebooking for next year? Do you know?
I have to reach out to her. She's already told me yes before she left. She goes, I'll be back.
Yeah. So again, there's another thing. Airbnb. We run that business as well. We don't have a onslaught of Airbnbs because it's something that somebody's got to manage. And I'm not managing them and. And you do it right on your phone, Debbie. Don't you just do Airbnb right on your phone?
Oh, sure.
Tenant comes in, you click, you boom, boom, you're done, right? Like that. That's not how it works.
No.
So it doesn't work that way.
No.
So anyway, I think it's been worth it. The Airbnb income we've made this year is really not compensated. It's helped in other areas where we may not have made money. But I'm trying to think, where did we not make money this year? This is COVID 2020 year. I tell you what, it's really. In the beginning, we were like shocked.
Yeah.
Like, oh no.
Oh God.
We're in the wrong business. Oh crap.
38 rentals. Oh God.
We feel bad for people. The short sale industry, because that's our niche. We specialize in short sales. Our agents, we have a real estate company as well, and then we have real estate agents. What are they going to do for a living to make money? Well. Let me talk to you about what our real estate team has done. It's pretty phenomenal.
Yep.
What we've done last year, we were right at 10 million, and we got a small company. We're not, a Remax or, Keller Williams or any of that. Although those companies hire us to negotiate debt sometimes, and by way of partnering on some of the stuff that they need to do. But yeah, 2019 sales last year was right around 9 million, 9.2 million. And we thought we'd go over that last year, the 2019, but 2020, since COVID hit, we've sold almost everything we've had. Debbie and I, stuff that we've had on the market for some time as well. But we've done over 11 million, almost 12 million. We're pushing 12. We'll do more than 12, hopefully 13 million for the end of the year. For a little mom and pop shop, I think it's pretty good. Although we're a little mom and pop shop that does a lot of business. We've got a great team here that helps us process all these. I heard them in the meeting Tuesday, because we hold a meeting every Tuesday for about 2 hours with our team, and we're banging around ideas and all. And one of them said, they don't like seeing all the electronic lock boxes lined up because they know the inventory is low when they see all those lock boxes. And I said, yeah, I don't like that either, because every time one of those lock boxes come in, that means we've sold something we got to pay taxes on, but also we need something to replace it with. So I want to replace all those properties we sold. And so we're strong buyers. We'll buy. Debbie might let me buy something here and there, as long as she doesn't have to rent it. And if I can buy it, fix it, and flip it.
You're about to give me two more.
2 more rentals. Well, that was on a 1031. I couldn't help it. But we did buy a new condo in New Smyrna Beach.
Yes.
There's another Airbnb. It's closer to Longboat. Matter of fact, I think Heather's going over next weekend.
Thanksgiving
weekend to the Airbnb or
so
New
when
Smyrna.
you buy your Airbnbs, make sure it's places you want to go on vacation.
Very good. Yeah, these kind of just happened on us. It's not like we bought one of the Airbnbs while we were in Hawaii 2 years ago. We closed on it. We made an offer before we left, and the seller didn't want our offer, and then they called us up and said, hey, we'd like to look at your offer. And so we lowered it 10 grand, and they took it. So we made a lower offer of $10,000, and they took that. So that's just about being in the right place at the right time. We were on vacation, and we made an extra 10 grand while we were on vacation because we had to pay 10,000 less than what we made on the first one. But yeah, for a little company doing that, that's almost 3 million more in production. Gross. This is gross sales, production. Gross volume sales. But it's because things started moving. We have no inventory. And it's just amazing, and it just keeps going. I don't know when it's going to stop. If it stops, we might have to retire. But the office is not going to let us do that because we got a lot of hungry girls in this office, and they got families, friends, and all that. So, it's an interesting year. This is November. December's around the corner. We got Thanksgiving next week. A lot of stuff going on in the world. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on, and it's just interesting that this is taking place in our lifetime. And I just hope you got something out of today. Anything you want to add about rentals or how blessed you are about your great husband or anything like that? Anything like that? Nothing like that?
I'm very blessed. That's another thing I want to add. I'm glad you said that. I handle the rentals and I handle the people and stuff like that, but I'm very blessed that my husband knows how. He doesn't have to fix things anymore. We used to when we first started, so it's very important that you have somebody
with good hands
that knows how to fix stuff, so you don't get taken advantage of, because people will take advantage of you and then you lose your profit. So make sure that you
battery's going down. Keep going.
That you have somebody on your team that knows how to get things fixed and doesn't get taken advantage of. And then with the renters in that lease, anything under $200 is their responsibility. So if anything small happens and they call me, I go, well, if that's under $200, you have to pay. So are you sure you want me to call my plumber who starts at $80 an hour? Usually they don't, and it ends up getting handled. Nothing happens. But I'm very blessed that Hunter knows how much things cost, so we don't get taken advantage of, and we don't need a new drain field when sometimes they tell us we do. It's just some plumbing issue in the house and stuff like that. So yes, I have a great husband, and we are so lucky with our team here because they've been with us forever. Pam's been with us almost 20 years.
20?
Heather's
16
been
or
with
20?
us 12. Jack's probably been with us 12. And it's just, Hunter and I have been together since 97.
12.
And it's just real important to surround yourself with people that have the same mindset. And we're all working together to help each other and to help other people out there. And I think that's about it.
Cool. So Hunter and Debbie this time from Foreclosure Friday. We gave you a little bit of what we do together and what we don't do together and what's going on in the market. So we have a short fix and flip. We love to work with people. It's been fun. I mean, I enjoy it. Seller calls, student calls, just it's a blast. We have a good time in the office. We got a lot of crazy stuff going on right now with some unique stuff we've seen down in Lauderdale area, Lantana area, some kind of contracts that we just saw for the first time. I'm like, wow. It's from our brokerage and it's really interesting. We're always learning something new. That's what I like about this business. There's always something new to learn and there's always something new to do. And there's always rules and regulations that are being changed. We came up with this topic, this one thing, don't break the rules, just make the rules. And I hope Pam heard that. So let me say it again. Don't break the rules, make the rules. And that's the way to do business. If you can do that legally, then you can do well. I'm excited about all of our new partners that are probably watching on here now. I don't see you watching and sharing, liking, and all that, but that's okay. I know you like us.
They're like they're at their job.
Oh, they're at their job. Or they're probably at getting a deal with us, the homeowner or something like that. But look us up, check us out. We're the real deal. 2,800 short sales, over 3,500 transactions in the last 15, 20 years, and probably 20 years. And it's been a blessing. We've done a lot of deals this year. We'll do a lot of deals next year. We're looking for properties. We're looking to loan money. If you need a partner on a deal, we like to partner on stuff. And that way it keeps our money safe and it keeps you safe. I mean, that's the easiest way I can say it. You partner with us, you get a 50-50 split on whatever we do, depending on what it is.
Yeah.
And we go from there. We got all the money you need to do the deals, and we're looking for partners. And if you want to work with a team, it's full circle, one-stop shop. That's who we are. We got great attorneys. We have great negotiators. We got great people. We love helping people, and that's the other thing. We got big hearts, and we don't want nobody to take our niceness for weakness,
right.
Because we've been down that road too, and so it's just a blessing. This whole business. The pandemic's been scary for a lot of people, scary for us. My mom's 86 years old. She lives with us, and we've had some battle with her care, her health in the last 2-3 months now, and seems to be doing okay. But you got to move on. Life's got to go on, and life's got to move on. So next Friday, Debbie doesn't know this, but she's going to have to do this again next Friday with me and Myrtle Beach, because we'll be in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Next Friday. I hope I got an early flight. Do we have early flight?
I think so. I don't know.
She doesn't know. So at 3 o'clock every Friday, no matter where we
we'll
are.
Be somewhere.
It might be in an airport. It might be in a car.
Might be
might
on the
be
golf course. That would be sweet.
We won't be on a golf course that early, I don't think. But that'd be nice. But anyway, hey, enjoy your Friday. This has been a calm message today. A little calmer today. We had the boss in. I had to behave. I couldn't get all wild and crazy. Couldn't
He
take.
did punch me in the eye.
Oh, I did punch her in the eye.
It's on the camera's opposite.
Whatever. Don't. All right, you guys think about that. Anyway, I hope you learned some good stuff. If you got some questions, send them in. If you need some help, we're here to help. We love helping people again, and it's been a blast today, as always. We didn't really know what we were going to do this morning, and I told Debbie last week you're going to be on Foreclosure Friday with me doing our rentals, and last week she chickened out, and so this week I dragged her in. So thanks for joining us today. Hey, hit share, like, Frank. If somebody you think can get help from this video or from our companies, the negotiating company, you can see the consulting group, LLC.net in the back. You can barely see that. It's kind of, there you go, kind of shifted colors on it. I like that's pretty cool. Enjoy your weekend. Go play golf. Go do something fun. Have an awesome.
Fun.
Yeah, that's what Debbie wants to do.
Play outside.
Tomorrow we're going shopping. I want to go shooting, but she wants to go shopping. Oh.
No,
See you later. Foreclosure Friday, Hunter. I'm your man, and Debbie's your woman.